Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I just wanted to come online, uh, give my subscribers, viewers, give MGTOW an opportunity to come and hang out and, just chat and listen and talk and things like that. Because I feel it's, very, very important. Now, previously, in my previous podcast, I was talking about why MGTOW is important for men. Why it comes about, why it's important, and there's more to say. That's what it comes down to, and I'm going to say it. So I'm just having some coffee, and as many of you may know, that's kind of funny. I've recently come back to YouTube, and the more content I make, the more time that I spend here, the more time I spend working with the various tools, the better is what it comes down to. So that's also part of what's going on here. So don't expect some high-end polished presentation. I'm not there yet, but trust me, I will be. And as I said, I think it's very important, especially now when MGTOW is being inundated with just fake dating coaches and what's the word? Well, PUA types, men who just kind of want to, fluff themselves up. I think it's very important that, in light of this, that there is some, actual
Somebody did this bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you got to put it on pause.
Nope. Sorry about that. We're back. So, the philosophy of MGTOW is important. Okay, it can save your life. It's pretty much the most important thing going on nowadays. It really is. A lot of people might not think that helping men find meaning and purpose in life in a society that is attempting to cast them aside and to devalue them is just not important, right? Because they're not men. And some of us, while biologically, men and male, are not going to pursue a man's lifestyle. Go ahead, take a look at your PUA. Go ahead, take a look at your dating coach. What are they doing? They're going out and trying to impress women, and this is the danger. This is the trap. This is what you must not do. The moment that somebody tries to do something, they kind of clutter themselves up. It's the story of the woodsman and the woodchuck. The woodchuck is, haggling and bothering the axeman as he's trying to chop, some wood, and he, turns around and, tries to throw something at the woodchuck, but he misses. The woodchuck is way too fast. So he waits a while and he pretends that he's not looking, and then he turns around suddenly and throws the thing, and the woodchuck again is way too fast. And then he tries another method, and again he can't hit the woodchuck. So then he just gives up, and he goes back to his job, and sure enough, the axe slips out of his hand and goes, flying through the air and hits the woodchuck. So some things in life are like that. The more you try to do them, the worse you're going to do at it. And surprisingly, if you'll just take care of the things that you as a man need to take care of in life, well, there it is. Then these things get taken care of. So the idea of the man going around and trying to impress the woman is like the least impressive thing he could ever possibly do. right? So, you've got your guys going around, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to impress women, and it's pathetic. The man is a clown. He's a stupid pet. And, the society has them. Understand this, okay? That society, that media, that the institutions know that they cannot control a strong, articulate, intelligent man who loves freedom. All right? He is an independent going his own way. He might found a country, based on principles of self-ownership and individual property rights. Okay? That's what that man might do. He might, release information with freedom of speech that influences other people and threatens the control of a gynocentric, authoritative society. Okay, so they don't want you, as a man, to be strong and intelligent and outspoken and fearless and confident. They want you to be dependent upon them. They want you to be afraid of them. Okay? So how do they do this? Well, what they do, and this is old school stuff, okay? They get the women. They get, the women scared. They get the women scared for the sake of the children, okay? They talk about protecting the future, protecting the sanctity of the herd and society. And when they get the women, all right, the men, the majority of the men, they just follow along, okay? Are you a follower? Do you just follow along? If everybody likes a particular type of music, do you just all of a sudden start to like it too? If everybody likes a particular type of food, do you just like that food as well? If you were raised in a society of cannibals, would you just be another fine cannibal? Right? And you can't blame people for going that way because they don't know any better. They're raised that way. This is what's expected of them. But what about the idea of you as a man getting to a point where you can evaluate what's important to you and your life, the quality of your life, and then you decide on what to do? Well, wouldn't that be you going your own way? So this is a threat to the control of society, of culture, of media, of free speech. Now, again, the way you do it is by you worm your way into the women. You make them afraid. Okay, and this is, as I said, it's old school. Plato's Republic talks about this. If you want to know how to control an otherwise free society, make the women afraid. The women will then give power over to the government, and the men will follow along because they need the women. So what happens when you've got this giant authoritative state, and that's all it wants? It just wants control. It just wants power, and it wants it for no more reason than the sake of to stay in existence. It doesn't care right, wrong, what's beneficial, what's good for the future. It doesn't care about any of those things. It cares about staying in power. Well, then it makes the women afraid. Then it, divide and conquer between the men and the women. It degrades the men, so the women are now loyal to the state, and they're afraid. So any man who wants to get together with that woman now has to agree that the state is all powerful. Okay? What kind of a life is that going to give you? It's not going to give you any sort of a life. You might have the trimmings and the appearance of, a happy man and things like that, but you will have sold your soul. You will have sold yourself out. The men are like birds that cut off their own wings to hang out with pigs. Okay? This is your only life. This is your only shot. This is your only chance. Make the most of it. Okay? This is what is inscribed at the Temple of Delphi. To yourself. Do the one thing that nobody in this world can do better than you, and that's being you. It used to be enough for you. As a child, that was it. You were you. And if you got to do what you wanted and the things that you wanted, and they weren't destructive, you were happy. Good deal. What happened? What happened? Well, you started to want the approval of others. You started, to want the women to like you. But can't you imagine, haven't you had anybody chasing you around and trying to impress you? And isn't that the least impressive thing in the world? And isn't it, when somebody's just going their own way, doing their own thing, and they, are really into it and they really care about it, isn't that the most impressive thing in the world? Okay? So, can't you look at that and say, wow, that's really good, man. They're really doing their thing. They take, joy and pleasure in it. They care about it. They sacrifice to make it something. And you know that they're deeply involved in getting it done. It's like, wow, good for them, man. And isn't the exact opposite the most disgusting thing in the world to see? So this is what the men have become. This is what they've done to themselves. This is the advice that the other men give to men in need. Look, this is free advice for men in need. All right? That's all it is. You don't have to donate. You don't have to do anything. I would appreciate like, shared, comment, subscribed. But do what you want. Okay? Do what makes you happy. I don't care. That's not my concern. Hopefully, though, I can point you in the direction towards something that actually works and away from a trap that's going to ensnare you for the rest of your life and destroy you. And if you don't think that going against the status quo will get you destroyed, then go ahead, do it. Try it. Speak out. Exercise freedom of speech. Look, the most powerful thing in the world, okay, is a man who can articulate himself, can form ideas about what's going on in the world, and then articulate those ideas and argue and fight for those ideas and influence other people. Okay? They don't want you to be intelligent and capable and confident with the ability to influence other people. That's what they don't want. So what are you doing? Are you listening? Look, I don't blame you for listening to your favorite music, because it might be the only place where, what's truly inside of you gets expressed. It's like that artist is saying something that is meaningful to you, and you delight in it. And it's the only escape. It's the only place where you find some understanding, some sympathy. I understand that. Do you? Or are you just following along with the herd? Because you want the favors, the treats, well, that's a hell of a thing to, become attached to as a child, as a young person. You've really got no choice. As somebody